Hi, Cherie. Thank you so much for being a part of our entrepreneur photo shoot. Tell us a little bit about your business, the name of your business, and how long you've been doing this.
All right. Hi. Yes, my name is Cherie Trahan, and I'm excited about being here. But the name of my business is Purpose to Inspire, and I am a Christian author. And so the vision is that Purpose to Inspire serves as the umbrella for my literary projects, which includes poetry, as well as my published books.
Okay.
So I actually have a first book with a purpose to inspire a poetry collection that's available online at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. And I'm working on my second project, which is my Christian living memoir, where I tell my extraordinary story, real life story.
What's a part of your story? Tell us a
Sure.
part. Give us a sneak peek into your story.
Yes, so the heart of my story centers around my going through a 10-year season where I literally experienced 7 distinct miracle blessings. And in order for me to call these miracles, that can only mean that I had to face some extreme ended level of adversity, where I had no way of knowing how I would make it out, from the standpoint of being life-threatening and or threats against my physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And so in each case, 7 times I had to embark on these journeys of faith, whatever that looked like. I had to turn to and rely on God to show up. The catalyst was actually the life-threatening complications that centered around my pregnancy with my son. And rewinding 2 years before, I had suffered multiple miscarriages and had been given a bleak medical diagnosis. And so even after his birth, at 1 pound and 11 ounces, we still weren't out of the woods yet, as both of us were in the intensive care unit. And so together we fought, we survived, and we would live. And little did I know that was just miracle blessing number one. And in each case, I would walk away with these faith-filled takeaways that I'm just now excited to impart for the benefit of giving hope and encouragement to others. So in that case, I walked away with the faith-filled takeaway that it is God who has the final say, not the doctors. And after
Absolutely.
that, it was just a succession of facing one adversity after another. But each time, God kept showing up in miracle fashion. So I'm excited about my story as an African American woman, because a lot of times our stories are not told. And I particularly think about mainstream, but there's something to be said when people can see them, people who look like them, who too have overcome, who too have confronted adversities. And when we discover the answer, what worked for you, for me, it was my faith. Nobody can take my story away. The bottoms are well documented. And you can see where I'm at now, the tangible miracle blessings. And in between, there was these fascinating journeys of faith. So I'm just excited about what God is doing through me, and hence that is my purpose to inspire.
What advice would you give to someone who's afraid to talk about their trials or their testimony?
Yes, so the advice that I would give, just living as an example, transparency is key. I know that it could be certain reasons why we may not share, whether it's guilt, shame, or generational, the old school, you don't tell your business. But with the kind of story that I have, because God showed up for me over and over again, it's like I feel compelled. He has spiritually advised me, you have to tell your story. Because there's too many people that believe that they're alone, that they're the only ones dealing with this particular issue, and it's not the case. So there is scripture that says we overcome by the words of our testimony, and that thing is powerful. So my story helps to serve as a light, a living example of hope, of encouragement that can be the blessing, the deliverance, the healing, or lead to that which somebody else needs. So it's just something, it's bigger than me. Coming to grips with that is bigger than you. Somebody needs your story. You and your story are needed.
So, what are some of the trials that you've had to pay? I'm sorry. What are some of the trials that you've had to face as an entrepreneur in building a business?
So there's some of the trials, the challenges that I've had to face in terms of building my business, I think is marketing has been a challenge for me. My first book was a collection of poetry, which was done more so at the community level. And that was my starting point, at least to get my foot in the door, so I can get out there and tell my story, share my poetry. But I found that getting the word out has been hard for me, whether or not I should seek further assistance, mentorship, or what have you. But because I'm dreaming so big for this second book, this is not meant to stay in the DMV area. I believe that God's stories are meant to bless nations. So I'm dreaming big. And so I did put together a book proposal for my memoir that's currently in draft format. But yeah, I think that just getting the word out there, if I can figure out how best to do that, particularly as passionate as I am with the desire to genuinely help people and with a story that authentically speaks to the power of faith, there's a need, there will always be a need. And that's why I'm so excited. That's the uniqueness of my story. It's timeless and it's relevant. As long as we're on this side of heaven, we all gonna go through things. So how can I serve and use my gifts to be that genuine light that can help generationally, my children's children, as well as the people in the earth generationally. So it's getting the word out for the most part, and leveraging different platforms, whether it be social media, whether it be connecting, networking for media appearances. That's what I would really love to do more of, and I really want to get into the mainstream marketplace to promote diversification.
And then what's been one of the most rewarding things of being an entrepreneur?
Some of the most rewarding things about being an entrepreneur is my ability to help. You know, I come with strong empathy. I come with a strong desire to see others win. And I really, to have a story that can help somebody not give up, that can help somebody turn to their faith, at least try it for yourself. God is to be experienced. You know, I can speak and speak and speak. And again, I stand on the fact I don't come from a place of what I think or what I read or what I heard somebody else say. This is what I've lived. So number one, every time that my story is read and told, God is glorified. That's been tremendously rewarding. And in the process, I am blessing the lives of others humbly. You know, I'm able to help build strong spiritual lives. So that's been most rewarding, just helping people, empowering people, and honoring God in what I do.
Is it possible that we could get one of your poems today?
It's been a minute, and so I don't know it by heart, and I don't have a copy of the book with me.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming out today.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Mm-hmm.